And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the Esports World Cup EWC 2025 European Closed Qualifier. We just wrapped up with our first series, just wrapped up with Lambo versus Skillus. It was an intense series, an intense ZvP, and now we are back with another Zerg versus Protoss matchup. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Pylon, we have our German Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Shovel 5 Rebellion. It is Lambo. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the Croatian Protoss player, the Red Zerg. It is Goblin. And as we settle in, you know what time it is? It is Gamma time. It's Gamma time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we settle into this best of 5. Again, we're quite deep into the qualifier already, and I want to emphasize just how insane it is that Goblin has made it this far. Goblin, he exceeded all expectations. He popped off in day one. We covered most, if not all, of his matches, and I do recommend the VODs if you miss out on them, specifically Goblin's PvT. He was on fire against Spirit and against Gabe as well. It was insane to see Goblin mow through those Terrans. But how does it compare to Zerg? I personally missed out on a series against Cyril. We were casting other matches at the time, so I wasn't able to watch them. But now we're here to get a glimpse ourselves. Let's go. Also, a big shout out to Vindicta, Gab, Amiga, Miguelito. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream, hope you had a great ladder session, hope you had a great time. And again, welcome to the Esports World Cup qualifiers. Again, the final regional qualifiers. We are done with all the other regions, with Asia, with the Americas, with Korea as well. Only Europa remains. Let's go. For now, we have initial openers, hatch gas pool, nothing too crazy, nothing too wild. Likewise, gate expanded cybercore out of Goblin. Now, there are a couple of things to take note of as we get into our game and into our series here. First things first, when it comes to Goblin's PvZ, at least from what I've seen and from what I'm familiar with, he has some killer late game PvZ. Like, if he can get to the late game, if he can get into that 4-base setup, into that maxed out army, into that sky tilt with ground supports, then Goblin can take it to the best of them. 100%. I may even favor him against Lambo in that specific situation, but can he get there is the thing. Lambo, he's been showing off a unique build. I don't know if you noticed, but we saw it twice in the last series. Lambo being hyper greedy, rushing into a fast Hydra den, rushing into gases, and rushing into a 7-minute hive and 7-minute lurker den. If you recall, we did experience that quite often against Skillus, and it does look like it is designed to punish a defending Protoss. Like, if a Protoss player is being more defensive and more turtly, and if they're hunkering down back at home and getting their 3rd and 4th base, if they're walling up, and if they're not being active, if they're not punishing you, then that is designed to punish that kind of defensive and more greedy Protoss play. I say greedy, just more defensive more than anything. And to take advantage of that, passivity. So we'll see how we'll approach this. I'm sure that Goblin was watching. I'm sure he was watching the previous matches. I'm sure he has an idea of what Lambo's been up to. I'm sure he has an idea what to do. For now, gets into the middle line, gets 1, 2, 3 drone kills already, not bad. Yeah, 3 workers go down for 2 adepts. It's an okay, it's okay. It's an okay trade. Oracles are on the way. And we are setting up. As Goblin will take his 3rd. Lambo, now that the adepts are gone, that means that Lings, they can threaten the expansion. That also means that Goblin has to keep his Oracle at home. Ideally, the Oracle wants to be active, but without the adepts, something has to protect the 3rd, and in this case, it has to be the Oracle. So the Oracle is stuck at home. I also wanted to emphasize that even though I do kind of favor Goblin in that kind of late game state, the map pool currently is much more aggressive. We have a little more smaller maps, a little more exposed maps as well. This is an example of that. Welcome to Pylon. Pylon aggression is favored here. It doesn't take long at all to push out, to commit across the map, and to try to punish some of these bases. The rush distance by ground is very short on Pylon, so aggression is favored. We even saw Skillus take advantage of that. If you recall, with Lambo being greedy, Skillus did punish him quite hard on Pylon by being active and by being in the face of Lambo. Behind this Eva chamber into +1. +1 melee is on the way. This tells us that this is most likely going to be Ling Hydra. Ideally, Lambo wants to skip Roaches, and he will. He will skip Roaches. Bane the Nest gets thrown down. It's going to be Ling Bane Hydra. So very greedy here from Lambo. As the Oracles, they do get a Queen. Not bad. He gets 1. Doesn't quite get the other. He scouts the Bailey nest, now he knows. He's now aware that there are going to be no roaches. He's now aware that Lingbane Hydra is on the horizon. Technically, this could be Lingbane Muta. True, but I'm not too fond of the idea of mutas on a small map like Pylon. You can get away with it on larger maps like Maganatha or Tokamak for sure. Small maps, it's more difficult. Oh, nice target firing. Gets one, gets two. Two probes go down. Meanwhile, Blink and +1 on the horizon here. Standard follow-up out of Goblin, throwing down extra gateways. As the Oracles, they dive in. They get a Queen. No transfuse. Ooh, he will trade the Oracle for it, though. It's going to be okay. He does get the second Queen, so 2 Queens go down. But the Oracle does get some transferring workers as well. Oh my god. Goblin fighting a lot of damage here, especially compared to Skillless last series. Skillless was having a very hard time getting economic damage and catching Queens, but here Lambo is slipping up. Already 7 drone kills, 7 drones, 3 Queens. Very nice early game damage here out of Goblin. Very nice. Ooh, he does shade though, and he's gonna get caught out. I was praising Goblin, and then he gets caught with his pants down. These Fs, they will fall. Again, he gets caught out in the open. And Goblin rushing into Skytoss. He's rushing into Skytoss. Lambo, he's not rushing into, like we saw previously, he's not rushing into Hive, he's not rushing into Hydras. Hydra is now on the way, but Lambo, he has to rejoin after all those losses he's making and fixating on Lingbane initially. Lambo's not cutting as many corners, not being as greedy. And I spoke about it. It is initially Hydra. Did he cancel? I saw the Hydra. Yeah, he canceled. He canceled Hydra and going into Spire, going into Muta play. Okay, bold move. Bold move here. What does Lambo see? Oh, he's still the main. Okay. He got into the main base. He saw the double the double Stargate. So he canceled the Hydra into Spire, not for Mutas, for Corruptor. As there's a changeling in the main. So he sees everything. Corruptors are on the way. And Lambo, he sees this early enough to be ready for this with Corruptor. For those that are curious, the Spire actually takes longer to produce than the Hydra. So if it's a late scout, then Hydras are more of like a gut reaction to kind of get anti-air as quickly as possible. But because it's such an earlier scout, it means that you have time for the Spire and for Corruptors, and that'll fare better in a longer game. As they are the better response. As things they come in for the surround, they don't quite get it, but at least they're keeping Goblin busy. Does actually catch out some of the Stalkers, and gets one Stalker. Takes down one, going for the other. Alas, won't quite get it. Better trade for Goblin, much more efficient. Ooh, Lambo setting up the Bailing run by. Lings, they're looking to distract on the left-hand side. Carriers are amassing. Storm is on the way. And Lings, they collapse on the expansion. Can he force a cancel? So here come the Zwailings. And it looks like he will. Oof. Yeah, brutal cancellation. And again, Goblin, he's distracted. Bailey's there rolling in. Goblin doesn't react. Oh no! No reaction! Oh! Yeah, no reaction. Massive connections. Ooh, taking out even the High Templar. 2 High Templar, 22 probe kills. And gets the fourth. The fourth base, 22 probes and 2 High Templar. And he's not done. He gets 24 probes. Lambo just pulling Goblin apart. Doesn't help the Goblin, he was also going for Oracle Harass at the same time. So his attention was elsewhere. And with that Lambo, how much workers does he have? 90. 90 drones. That is insane. 90 drones for Lambo. Now he can embrace the Corruptors. Corruptors are amassing. Lings are building up as well. We have a safety Roach one going into Roach speed. Lambo is looking solid. He's looking in control here. He's looking very comfortable, and Goblin is stuck at home. He's stuck at home, and he's struggling to expand. Ay. And how many Corruptors do we have? 14. 17. Jeez, 17. It's soon to be 18 Corruptors. Bailey's they roll in once again. This time, Goblin does pull away in time, so good reaction here by Goblin. But Lambo's maxed. Lambo's maxed out, and now is the time to trade. Denies the fourth base once again. And he wants those carriers. He's going to get one at least. Gets one. Dives in for 2. Gets 3. He's gonna hit a 4. He's just gonna hit every single carrier. Ay, ay, ay. He will just stand in the storms. It's worth it. Once again, Bailey's into the mineral line. Roach is gonna keep the Archons busy. Bailey's gonna chase him down. He's gonna chase up. Oh my god. 2 Bailey's left. He splits. Nice control there by Goblin with causing spray here on the main. GG gets called as Goblin is torn apart, and Lambo will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. With that, Lambo does take a lead in the series. Again, Goblin had a cheeky build when it came to going into fast carrier, into Fleepy and into Stargates. Unfortunately for Goblin, Lambo saw everything. Lambo, he saw everything. He reacted so fast with his Spire. He cancelled the Hydrogen, went into the Spire, went into Corruptors. But not just that, he was also able to pull apart the attention of his opponents with that Ling Bane aggression. Banelings on one end, Lings on the other. And Goblin, unfortunately, was just not able to keep up with the multi-prong aggression. GG. GG, well played. Goblin was torn apart. Oh. And now we're getting to our next game. Game 2 is going to be on Ley Lines. Ley Lines is one of the more standard maps in the map pool. It's a little bit more down the middle of the road. Not too big, not too small. And we'll see how our players will approach this. Let's go. Cartouche Ling all in. There was an economy behind it. Like he was, maybe he can sustain himself. Can send it back. Here we go, spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ley Lines. We have the German Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg representing Shopify Rebellion, leading the series 1-0. We'll see if he can extend that lead. It is Lambo. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the Croatian Protoss player, the red Protoss. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back, and we'll see if he can make a series out of this. It is Goblin. We go. Again, a very intense game there. Goblin couldn't quite keep up. Yeah, Goblin forcing that natural. Now, what I was about to say here is that now I can see Goblin playing a little bit more defensively and getting away with that style a little bit better here on Ley Lines. I will say that these bases are more defendable, more fortifiable, more so than on Pylon. So that is going to be a factor here. But at the same time, I don't like the idea of Goblin rushing into carrier 2 games in a row. So we're probably going to see something different. As much as I would maybe prefer it here on Ley Lines as opposed to Pylon, we'll see what he goes for. We'll keep our eyes open. Just as a reminder, again, he did rush in towards those carriers, like as he was taking up into Storm, taking him in every other direction as well. I do want to give praise to Goblin. Like, Goblin, he had a really good early game. Like, when it came to the Adept Harass and when it came to the Oracle Harass, he was getting a lot of damage done. It was solid, but there was no follow-up. Like, if you remember, like, typically what we expect to see is you do all that damage and then bam, you hit with like 6 gateways plus 1 in blink, or I should say maybe 5 gateways plus 1 in blink. You apply pressure with your stalkers, you expand behind it, and you force your opponent to make units, and you trade. But instead, Goblin, he teched, right? He chose, okay, I got all this damage done, time to get another Stargate, get a Fleet Beacon, take up into Storm, get into carriers, right? That's what he did with his advantage early on. Is he tried to be cheeky by taking up in such a way, and unfortunately got scouted, unfortunately got shut down. So we'll see what Goblin goes for this time. Meanwhile, a big shout out to M4 Strilin? Mrs. Strilin? No, sorry, Marzillian? Maybe. I think I got that one. But regardless, thank you so much, Gab. Thank you so much for the Twitch Prime. Hope you enjoy the content, hope you enjoy the StarCraft, hope you enjoy the casting here on the channel. Thank you so much for the support. Do appreciate it. I hope you enjoy the emotes as well. We do provide some lovely duck-related emotes in the chat. You can veg, you can degen, you can also eat some ramen. It's beautiful. So I hope you enjoy. And likewise, thank you for the support. Thank you. As always. Thank you. For now, though, we're going to be calming down. We do have, once again, our Stargate opener into Oracle. This time single adept, no, double adept. Double adept here from Goblin. One across the map, one back at home. This time he doesn't commit as hard here to the aggression. More concerned about hunting down the Overlord. As the Overlord is hunted down, Oracle moves out. And if we do move out across the map, the Lings are here to try to punish. As Lambo, who's poised to dive on that third, does pull the trigger, Oracle's in position, and Goblin defense. Again, there was a bit of a gamble. Basically, there was a chance that the Oracle moves out. If the Oracle moves out, then Lambo can get some damage done, but not the case. Is not the case. Behind this, Twilight Council into Forge, Pulsum and Blink on the horizon. Lambo once again pokes in. This time the Oracles move out. But there's a shield battery. Yeah, shield battery's about to finish. Adepts are in position. Goblin should be okay. So Oracles, they poke in. Lings, they come in for this round, but again, Adepts are in position, and Goblin holds. Goblin, he does hold. You can see Lambo's in position to maybe cast some train for workers. Meanwhile, no Spore, no Queens. Oh, Lambo out of position here. Drones are going to be going down, getting into 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh my god, what's the reaction? Late reaction by Lambo. Distracted by his own Ling counterattack here. And that is 12 drones. Oh my god. The Spore finishing up a little bit too late. And the Oracles, they get out. Very nice start for Goblin. Very nice start, even better than last game. Remember, last game he got 8 drone kills, but he traded out 2 Adepts. He traded Adepts for that damage. Here, didn't even need to. We'll lose 1 Adept here defensively, but that's a different kind of setup. Behind this, we have 4 more gates away, getting to a 5 gate +1 and Blink setup. And this time, yeah, more gates are on the way. This time, Goblin, instead of taking this lead like last game and teching, he's taking the lead and he's doubling down. Let's go. 7 gates on the way. How many in total? 8. 3 bases, 8 gate setup. Let's go. The Oracles, they bust in. They get 3 more drones. 3 more workers going down. And I'm all for this more aggressive follow-up here by Goblin. Let's go. Hey. I'm like, initially after I saw that damage, I was like, I'm getting deja vu where Goblin has a really strong start and then techs. But no, that's not the case, not this time. Do we have a Robo though? No Robo. What I mean by that is without a Robo, there's no Prism to reinforce across the map. So we're going to be warping in Stalkers, that's true. We're going to be poking out, we're going to be pushing, but I'm not so sure we're going to commit. Meanwhile, Lambo back at home, taking out quite hard. +1, not melee, +1 range. He's been greedy. +1 range on the way. Infestation bits on the way. We've seen this with Hydroden as well. We've seen this before. It looks like Lambo wants to try to rush into Hive again. We saw this twice against Skillers. And as Lambo is being greedy, as Lambo is investing not into Ling upgrades, but into Hydra and Lurker upgrades, Goblin's pushing. Goblin, he's pushing. But remember, he has no War Prism, he has no Proxy Pylons, so he's not going to be able to reinforce too hard. But regardless, he is pushing forward. There are 2 Hydras. 2 Hydras to defend. Gets a Queen, gets 1, gets 2. Lings, they get caught by the stasis. Another stasis going up, and another as well. And the Hydras are falling left and right. The base is exposed. Damage is being done. Drone's going to be going down. Insane damage here so far by Goblin. And behind this, he is reinforcing somewhat. Stalkers are on the way. They have to race across the map. Catching up more Hydras. Send it, Babby, send it. Again, unfortunately, there's no Prism with this. Unfortunately, there's no Proxy Gateway, but he's getting so much done. The boys are being pulled. Once again, does target down as many Hydras as he can. Always getting surrounded, though. Here come the reinforcements. He has to get out of here. Goblin, he has to pull out. It is good damage, but can he get away? Nice stutter stepping. It does stutter step, does pull away. Behind this, Storm. Behind this, he's taking up into Storm, into Charge. Still reinforcing from all the way back home. And Lambo, he is in trouble here. Does counterattack though, does hit the fourth, and it looks like he will force a cancel. At the same time, Hydras are exposed. Hydras going down. Expensive losses here for Lambo. Goblin does poke in. Meanwhile, there's a cancel. There's that cancellation. Blinks on the Hydras. Oh god, that's so many, that's too many Hydras going down. GG gets called. Goblin, he punches Lambo for his greed. And Goblin ties up the series 1-1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. Again, I'm all for this response here. Goblin takes the lead, cripples the economy. He killed 15 drones in total. Remember, it was 12 and then another 3 behind that as well. So 15 drone kills in total. What does he do? Bam, throws down all the gateways, commits into Blast on Blink, does punish. Didn't commit too hard. Again, there was no prism, there was no proxy gateway behind it. He didn't go for an all-in. He was taking transitioning behind it. But fortunately for Goblin, Lambo was being greedy. Remember, Lambo, he had an infestation pit on the way. He had +1 range on the way. He was getting ready for the next step. He was cutting some corners, most likely because it took so much damage. Typically, as a Zerg player, or as a player in general, if you take a lot of early game damage, you have to either be very greedy or hyper aggressive and all in, right? You go down one of those roads to recover. And Lambo, it seems like his goal there was to be hyper greedy. Which would have worked if, for example, if Goblin was going into Skytoss again, for example. So it was a bit of a gamble. In the end, GG well played. With that, we're getting into our next game. Spawning in the right-hand corner here of Ultra Love, we have the German Zerg player. We have the Blue Zerg representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Lambo. And spawning into the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Red Protoss player from Croatia. Tying up the series 1-1. It is Goblin. Here we go. Here we go. As Lambo, he's going to be forced to expand elsewhere, forced to expand at that third location. And with that, we're selling it. Someone saying earlier, what was Lambo doing? 80 drone hive against 8k blink pressure. As we mentioned, I guess the stream will catch up with that, but once again, just to reiterate, because Lambo lost 15 drones to the Oracle Harass, like he had to make a choice there, either probably go all in or just be really greedy and drone up. I would also say that the rationale to be greedy and drone up like that was also probably predicated on the fact that, if you remember, in game 1, when Goblin took a lead, he wasn't aggressive. He was taking himself. So Lambo, he was kind of like gambling in the sense that he was hoping that Goblin would do the same thing he did in game 1. Like, I would imagine that was the rationale there. Like, it makes sense. It does make sense. As we are, just because of what happened in the first game. But here we go, we're now getting into game number 3. So far, we have our 1-1 setup. We're tied 1-1. Getting into game 3. We do have our Stargate on the way. So once again, Stargate opener out of Goblin. And something that we have to, again, bring up is that every game so far, game 1 and game 2, and he's been getting better so far progressively, is Goblin's early game aggression. His Oracle Harass, his Oracle Control, his Adept Harass as well. He's been doing quite a lot with it. Can he do it again? Can he do it again coming into game 3? As Goblin does threaten a dive. Does threaten a shade. Again, this time moving out with both Adepts. Bearing in mind the 2 Adepts taking one-shot drones. Last time we saw this out of Goblin in game 1, he did get 3 drone kills. We'll see if we can do better. Or worse. Does threaten that shade. And he does commit. He gets 1. Yeah, 1, 2 drones so far. Ooh, does not get the 3rd. And he's going to trade 2 for 2. Did I speak too soon? Ooh, gets 3. Okay. Does barely get that 3rd drone towards the end. But again, the downside here is that the third base is going to be delayed. We spoke about this in game 1 as well, where if you do lose your first 2 adepts, it means that you have to keep your first Oracle at home to defend. And Lings, they force out the Pulsar Beam. And Goblin, he can't be as active as he otherwise would like to be with this Oracle. As I'm hoping he does deactivate his Pulsar Beam soon. There we go. Link's making once. Oh my god, he's crazy! As my apologies, I was a little bit distracted here by the defense of the third, but Goblin opening up Oracle into a Fleet Beacon. This is a bold move here. Okay, so a couple of things are going on. Did we kill the Overlord? Ooh, okay. I was gonna say that that's still happening. As the Oracles, they poke in across the map, we still have Links here to try to punish. Typically, when we go for hidden tech like this, going double Stargate into a Tempest or Carrier Rush, it is typically off of the back of a Void Ray opener to hunt down the Overlord. But remember, this game, he did hunt down the Overlord with the Stalker. The Stalker killed the Overlord, not a Void Ray, so now it's gonna be even more harder to read here, as there's no Void Ray whatsoever, which is typically an indication of something wrong. And there we go, it is going to be a Tempest Rush. Tempest Rush here by Goblin. And so far, Lambo, he is in the dark. We're even rushing into Tectonic Destabilizers, okay. That is going to be bonus support towards structures, for those that are curious. To be able to focus down the spores and focus down hatcheries even faster. And again, for the time being, Lambo has no idea. Now, when the lair finishes, what does that give access to? It gives access to Overseers. Right, Overseers can then push in. And here comes the Overlord. Yeah, the Overlord's on the way. Lair is almost done. Oracles, they get 2 more drones across the map, nothing major. And we are waiting for the Overseer. We need that scout. I mean, Tempest are about to reveal themselves anyway, I suppose. Yep, there we go. Overseer's morphing in, as we did mention.
Swarm forces under attack.
Tempest, they do push across the map. And we'll see what he can get done. As there we go, they're revealed for the first time. Lambo, he was going for his own Roach push. Yeah, Lambo, now he starts droning. Spire instantly thrown down. Tempest, they zone back the Roaches. No upgrades on the way either. Yeah, Lambo, I don't think he was necessarily intending, I should say, to drone. But now forced to saturate. Tempest dancing with the army. Picking up some Roaches, picking up some Lings. Now he's going for the Queens. There's the Transfuse. Ooh, despite that, Queen goes down. Upgrade is done. And right now, it's all about Lambo just buying time. Just buying time for the Spire. Behind this, it is going to be a ground switch. So we're done with Tempest going into a 7-gate setup. Oh my god, that's a lot of gateways. 7 gates on the way. Can he get the expansion? The base is getting low. The base is getting low. More Queens are going down. Lambo counterattacks with the Roaches. As Queens are falling. And the third, it's going to fall. Yeah, one more volley. Una mas. Oof. It does go down. Now we can go for the Queens. The Queens are falling one after the other. And we have 10 Corruptors on the way. Can he get another base? No shot. 2 more volleys. Dos más. 1 more. Does he have enough? Oh my god, he's so close! 3 HP! Oh, he can get it though. He can get it. And now he has to get the hell out of here. Corruptor production is well underway. Corruptors, they're hunting down the Tempest. They're hunting him. Has to pull away. Back at home, he's safely on 3 bases. Lambo's on a 2-base economy. Lambo's on a 2-base economy as long as this is mine, and now he does take a third. But economically, Lambo, he has been hurting. Now going into Hydras. Meanwhile, Goblin switching into Mass Blink Stalker Storm. Storm is on the way. And he preserves the Tempest. That's what's important here. The Tempest have been preserved. They have paid for themselves. So from here, Goblin, all he has to do is just chill, just build up, and get his 4th up and running. Oh, nice contamination here on +1. Does contaminate. Goblin is just securing himself. Intended to secure. And we do see that Lambo, he did make a wave of Corruptors initially, but now switching into Hydras, taking up into Lurkers. He's joining up to 82, which is a decent worker count, but Goblin, he's on 74. Like, Goblin, he has a comparable economy once he gets a 4th base up and running. So Goblin's in a pretty solid position, to be honest. Pretty solid. We do see that Lambo is taking up towards Lurkers, towards Hive. That is true, but we may see Goblin push out first, actually. Maybe the first to push out. We'll see. For now, both players are just back off from each other. 4th is now getting saturated. High Templar moving in. There's going to be how many? There's going to be 6 High Templar. And again, the army for Lambo is going to be so vulnerable to Storm. At least before Lurker Tech. Like, before Lurkers come online. More High Templar. And we'll see if Lambo does decide to, if Goblin does decide to push with charge. Meanwhile, Lurkers are morphing in. We have our Lair Tech Lurkers. We have the Hive upgrades on the way. Lambo, he's had a time to lick his wounds, to build back up. It hasn't been the most ideal setup here for Lambo, but he's getting there slowly. I say slowly. How many Lurkers? 6. 6 Lurkers, that's not a lot. As he moves out, Lambo getting ready for a counterattack. Lambo moving in. Goblin does retreat. Here comes a surround. Attempted surround. Lurkers, they cannot get through those bridges. Lurkers, they can't move past. Goblin rotating over. Goblin is maxed out. Yeah, cashing out the roaches. Cashing out the flank. Pushing forward. Zell around by the right-hand side, running into Lurkers. How many Lurkers so far? Still 6. Still only 6 Lurkers, and this base is exposed. There's no creep. There's no creep at the expansion. Zealots, they run into side defense. Lurkers trying to keep up. Oh! Storms a zone. Storms do zone away. Tempest, they want the expansion. And they're gonna get it. One more volley. At the same time, Zealots are wreaking havoc in the mineral lines. More drones gonna be going down. And Storms, they pop up. Lambo having a hard time engaging. Now he's going for it. Oh, he's getting desperate. Going for the dive. Oh, the army gets stormed. And this is a brutal fight for Lambo. Yeah, it's being forced back. That is still a lot of Lurkers, though. It's a lot of Lunkers. Oh my god. Detection? Where's detection? There's none. No Oracle, no Observer. 0 detection. Lambo holds. Whew. Lambo, he does hold on. 0 detection. Ay, ay, ay. Goblin, he pushed on top of the Lurkers. It was crazy. Oracles are now on the way. He needs those revelations. Where's the detection, Pappy? Ay, ay, ay. Otherwise, potentially, Goblin could have taken that fight. So it's 4 Tempest. Now Lambo is remaxed. Goblin's still being active. Taking another base. Also spotted. We're up to how many Lurkers? 15. Gee, 15 Lurkers, by the way. That's a lot of Lunkers. Lambo trying to set up a flank. The flank gets spotted. Flank gets spotted. We'll keep an eye on the Oracles. There is 1 Observer and 2 Oracles. So you have to keep an eye on the detection. Goblin rotating over. Takes down the tumors. Lambo going for a massive counterattack at the same time. Goblin can always recall. Instead, just goes right down mid. He just sends it. Zealots, they will peel off. Peel off into the other bases. Zealous they get into the third and the natural. Corruptors, oh, they do get one Tempest. Down to 3. Sorry, down to 5. Jesus. Yeah, still 5 Tempests left over. Drones are going down at the same time, going for a massive lurker counterattack. Do we recall? Do we commit? Nice Storms, though. Storms are slowing this down. Zealous warping in. Meanwhile, the 5th base does fall. Meanwhile, that's going to be 16 drone kills. This Aileron ride was brutal. And Tempest, they're going for another expansion. Once again, this base is going to go down. Same time, Lurkers gaining ground. They're pushing in. There's that recall. Does recall to the... Ooh. Recalls to the right-hand side. Recalls to the 4th. And the base is going to go down. Unfortunately, he had no NG here for a recall. So Goblin, he will lose 2 expansions. Meanwhile, he killed 1 base and got a mineral line. So there's a bit of a back-and-forth trade. Catching out some of the Lurkers. Now, something to bear in mind for the near future is that recalls on cooldown. At least the base recalls on cooldown. Oh! Once again, running into Lurkers. Yeah, lacking detection. There are 3 observers on the map. Sniping overseers. Lambo takes top left. I believe unscouted. Okay, Goblin is not aware. He's double expanding. Getting his 4th, getting his 5th base. Lambo, he now has a spellcaster. He has 1 Viper on the way. 1 Viper. Let's go. Goblin rotating over. Heading towards top left. He wants the expansion. But once again, going for another counterattack. There's no recall available. The base is not done. And we're trading bases again. Oh, the Robos are under fire though. Robo does fall. Massive pickoff. Takes down one of the Robos. We'll go for the other Robo as well. Limited detection. Has to rely on those Oracles. Gets Revelation. Base goes down. The game is getting messy. What's the plan? But now we'll keep pushing. Oh, that base is so low. The base... base is so low. He wants it. He wants the hatchery. He gets it. 1 more volley. Oh. Volley goes off. Pulls away. Goblin, he will save the expansion at the same time. We have a Grand Army pushing out. And no Lurkers in position, but they are coming. So far, 22 Lurkers. Oh, Jesus. 22 Lurkers. That's a lot of Lurkers. Takes down 3. Down to 19. Ooh, and he's going for the base. Going for the expansion. Another Storm. Gets another 2 Lurkers. 3 Lurkers even. Goblin. Popping off. Who needs Skytoss? Will be forced to recall, though. And he will lose some key units here. Oof. But does take down the expansion. He wants more. Just back and forth. Goblin committing in. Does pull away though. Does pull away for now. We have how many? We're down to 16 Lurkers. 16 Lurkers left. We have the Viper now, Viper full of energy. We have a couple of Infestors on the way as well. This is something that Lambo was lacking when it came to his main army, is spellcasters. Like, again, that complexity. That utility to the army. And now he can try to abduct and punish. But the creep is not, the creep is almost non-existent. Like, there's no map presence here for Lambo. And remember, at the start of the series, we spoke about this. We spoke about how Goblin, where I favor Goblin over Lambo, is late game. Like, we started the series off with that. The question was, could he get there? The answer is, he's gotten here now. Like, he's gotten there. He's gotten to the late game. Fungal's coming in. Oh, nice feedback. Very nice feedback. Fungal on every single Infestor. There's 1 Infestor left. Storms are popping up. Goblin committing in. Oh, into Lurkers. That's not going to go well for him. Yeah, Goblin does overextend. Pushing into the Lunkers. Not ideal. Respect the Lunkers. As Lambo, he does take this fight initially, but we have another army. GG gets called. Lambo, he has nothing else for him to defend. He has no economy, no army. And Goblin, he will take a lead in the series. Whew, GG. Whew, GG, well played. Goblin, he does take a lead in the series. Again, Goblin, he got into what he does best, the late game. That is where he can take it to the best Zerg players out there if he can get there. He finally did get there in that final game in Game 3. Can we do it again, or will Lambo try to end it a little bit earlier? Now, to be fair, this was a chaotic game, right? This was not a standard game. Remember, this began with a Tempest Rush from Goblin, unscouted Tempest Rush, where the Tempest were able to just wreak havoc, snipe 2 bases. Remember, 2 bases went down. In the end, 2 bases did go down. In the end, Lambo, he was stuck on a 2-base economy for a time. It was brutal there for Lambo. He just had a really rough start to the game, falling behind economically, and because of that, Goblin was able to get a 4th base and max out. He was able to max out, get into his ideal, and he had some very nice army control, very nice movement as well. Lambo just had a hard time keeping up. We did see a lot of counterattacks out of Lambo. He was able to strike across the map and take down some bases, take down some tech, but at the same time, he was also losing bases, also losing expansions as well, and mineral lines. With that, GG. With that, GG, well played. We are now getting into our next game. We're now getting into game number 4. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Incorporeal, we have the German Zerg player. We have the Blue Zerg representing Shopify Rebellion down in the series. Can he bounce back and make a series out of this? It is Lambo. And spawning into the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Croatian Protoss player, the Red Protoss, leading the series 2-1 and 1 game away from advancing on into the next round. It is a Goblin. Let's go, baby, let's go. Whew. As welcome on all to Incorporeal. Now, Incorporeal is another one of these interesting maps. It's quite large. It's a large map, long rush distance by ground. So because of that, it does in a way favor some longer later games. But there's also another quirk to it, and that is how spread out the bases are. I mean, looking at the 3rd base, the 4th base, the 5th base, the 6th base, you spread yourself so thin on this map. Though we have seen many players struggle and fail to protect your fringe bases against run-bys, against counterattacks. So the late game here on Incorporeal can get quite chaotic. So we'll see if we do end up in that game state. What I will say though is that after that last game, I can't imagine Lambo wants to allow the game to get that long. I would imagine he wants to try to end it a little bit earlier and go for an earlier timing, or try to beat Goblin to the late game. We did mention it previously, and we saw that Lambo, he tried it on ley lines, trying to rush into a fast hive and try to rush into fast hive tech, lurker tech as well. We'll see if he tries that here on Incorporeal. For now, unnatural here out of Lambo. Behind this, Goblin settling in. Goblin has real high highs. Oh gosh. Okay, I misread that as something else. I was confused. Esthenetics in the chat. Let's go. Let's go. It's very confused. So now it's going to be a Stargate opener out of Goblin. If Goblin qualifies for ZvP, I'm pretty sure that would be the best result of his career. I mean, I would say that arguably this right now is his best result of his career. Like, we mentioned it previously in day 1, that Goblin's performance up against Gabe and against Spirits, like his PvT looking incredible, and him propelling him forward in the bracket, like that's already a crazy result. Like regardless of what happens here, like Goblin, he can like walk away with his head held high. Like he has done so well. No one expected Goblin of all players to make it this far in the tournament. Like he has done so well for himself already amongst players like Gabe, like Showtime, like Lambo, like Skillus, right? Like at least on the bracket, I should say. And depending on who's waiting for him in the next round, like again, like Goblin was looking very, very strong against Gabe earlier. We'll get to that eventually, of course. But we'll see, we'll see. Regardless, he has played very well for himself. And now, claiming a third. Does get a third base. Adepts, they do race back home. No crazy damage here, but the Overlord did go down. Oh, Fleet Peak. But Overlord did go down, which is a little bit concerning considering what happened last game. So there is no Overlord Scouts. Twilight Council is on the way. Let's go. Here we go. Goblin's being active. Meanwhile, ooh, 4:30 lair timing. Okay, so I think this is the fastest lair we've seen out of Lambo this entire series. So really fast lair. Oh, as the oracles are zoned away. Queens are in position this time. Their 4:30 lair. With this, we may be looking to rush into a fast Hydrogen. Technically, we could even go for a Spire as well. Ooh, as the Evo Chamber is cancelled. Going for the Roach Warren. Okay, does adjust. Not just the Roach Warren, he's getting ready for a wall. He's a little bit afraid about Glaive Adepts. So he cancels, he repositions that Evo Chamber, setting up here at the low ground, just to be safer, just to be secure. Oracle breaks in, does confirm the timing of the lair, does confirm that it's about to finish. And he does get 1, 2, 3 drones, 4 drones so far, not bad. 4 drones do go down. Game's a 5, oh, getting up to 8, 9! 8 workers. Ay, ay, ay. Calm down. Can he get away? He can. Yeah, he can and will get away. Very nice damage with the fast lair. I was expecting Hydras, but we did mention a Spire was also possible. There it is. The Spire is on the way. We are rushing into Mutas. Okay, bold move. Now, Goblin should be aware that this is a possibility. Again, he saw the lair timing. He knows that we're rushing into tech. He's somewhat aware of the casters as well, somewhat. Whether it's Hydras or Spire, yet to be determined. It's up to Goblin to find out. It is up to Goblin. Now, nice, very nice unit control. Does pull away. Very efficient against the Lings. Does hit the 4th. And again, Goblin has done some nice damage, but honestly, that won't matter if he fails to scout. We have seen many a Protoss player fall and struggle against unscouted Mutas. So a very cheeky move here from Lambo. There are Blink Stalkers on the way at least. That will help somewhat. There's going to be some anti-air. Oracle's going to be zoned away. 0 scouting in the main. The Spire will finish and Mutas are on the horizon. Let's go. Going into Mass Muta. Meanwhile, ooh, we have the Fleet Beacon. That was not the time. Going into charge into a Fleet Beacon. I mean, I guess we can use this to get into Phoenix range and into Phoenix production. We can try to adapt. Depending on when everything's scouted though. It does depend. Here we go. Goblin setting up. It does set up Mutas. They're moving out. Here we go. And again, completely unscouted. Unscouted Mutas. They're making their way across the map. Queen's being targeted. The lack of Hydras here must be a tell for Goblin, I mean. Back at home, nothing. Nothing here to defend the natural, nothing in the main. Mutas, they have arrived, and they can one-shot probes, and they will. And Goblin, he can't gain any ground here. Mutas are revealed, does recall back home. And how many probe kills will we get? Phoenix production has begun. There we go, going into Annual False Crystals. So making use of that Fleet Beacon. Getting up to 10, 11, 12, 13 probes. Ay, ay, ay. 13 workers go down. At the same time, the Roach army pushing forward. Goblin in position. Do we bait the army in? We do. Nice stasis. Very nice stasis. At the same time, Mutas getting up to 16 probes. 16 probe kills. And Goblin, he does take the win here when it comes to the main army engagement, but the economy is struggling. 16 workers. The Mutas, they want the Oracle. Ooh, they get punished. They do get punished. Phoenixes are building up. Mothership's on the way. Goblin kiting back. Does kite back. Now, what I appreciate is that Goblin, he doesn't overreact. There's no second Stargate. No second Stargate. Still fixated on his Phoenix, or on his Blink Stalkers. Getting into +2. And Lambo, he is hard switching out of Muta into Corruptor. The Mutas, they did well for themselves, and now switching into Corruptors help deal with those Phoenixes. He has how many? He has 6 Mutas. Here we go. We have the Temple Archives. That's going to be for Storm. Again, it's going to be that much more delayed. Typically, we'd have it by now if it wasn't for the Fleet Beacon. I mean, I guess we have the Mothership. True. More Phoenix is building up. Lambo, he's maxed out. Oof. He is maxed out. Does have Lings ready for a surround. Does force his way in. Lings, they do collapse on the army. And detection is available. Yeah, Cloak doesn't do much here. Mothership goes down to the Corruptors. Nice stasis, very nice stasis though. Okay, stasis does pop off. And he still can't make a stand though. He's still being broken. Lings are getting into the mineral line. Files do connect. The Stalkers are trapped. They're trapped behind the base. And Lambo just rallies in. I mean, the stasis traps, they did help though. Still though, 16 probes. 16 probes go down, gets the entire mineral line. And with that, Goblin, he's on his last legs, his last army. Trying to reinforce. Lambo still just rallying whatever he can. And we're looking to force the ace match. We're looking to send it all the way to game 5. Again, unfortunately, Goblin, he just didn't have the wherewithal to check up for the base. He saw the layer timing, but I think he just assumed it was going to be for Hydras. The lack of Hydras should have been somewhat of a tell. But Last didn't re-scout, didn't recheck. He lost so many probes early on. And with that, he's trapped on 3 bases. He's being denied, he's stuck on 3 bases. Can't quite build up. Goblin, we're down to what? We're down to 5 High Templar. We have 1 Archon. We got 10 Stalkers. Let's go. Yeah, okay, if we blink perfectly and if we can land some storms, we can maybe kill all the Lings. And we do. Okay, let's go. Lings are killed. First Scavenger moving in, filing away the army, zoning it back. And now it's all about this third and making his final stand. Goblin trying to hold on, but GG gets called. There's no holding against this. And Lambo will type the series 2-2. We are going to the ace match. Whew. GG. GG, well played. We are getting into the ace match here. Again, we saw Lambo being quite cheeky when it comes to his build, able to get away with the fast lair into the hidden spire, unscouted completely, and Goblin was caught with his pants down. Pappy, the pants, they were down. And with that, we're going to game 5. We are going to game 5. Let's go. We are going the distance here. And game 5 is going to be on Persephone. Oh boy. Here we go. As we are setting up. Oh, looks like it plays. I need a moment. I need a moment. Sorry, just catching up with the chat. No breaks for today. Sleep is for the off season. True. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I just realized I should fix the title on YouTube. My apologies. My apologies. I'll fix it. Beautiful. As we are getting into our ace match here, whew, it all ends here. It all ends on Persephone. Persephone is another interesting map here. It's a bit of a smaller map, or it is a smaller map, but there are less bases to take because that we do often actually see some split map scenarios here, just because of how condensed the bases are and how few bases there are as well. But we'll get there. As for now, we're jumping to game number 5. We've made it to the ace match, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Persephone, we have the blue Zerg player. We have the German Zerg representing Shopify Rebellion. Whew. Forcing the ace match. Momentum is on his side. It is Lambo. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Croatian Protoss player, the red Protoss, being forced into the ace match. He is so close to taking the series and advancing on to the next round. Again, he has been popping off in this tournament, in this EWC qualifier. Can he keep going even further than that? It is Goblin. Again, the dark horse of this qualifier. He's crazy. Going on a very, very deep run and already exceeding expectations. Can he exceed even more? Let's go. Always appreciate an underdog story. Always. Under Goblin story even. True. Always do appreciate it. As we see, Lambo claiming his third. Does take his third base. Is going for it. So I say his third. Is forced to take the unnatural at the third location. That's what I mean. Going hatch gas pool. So it does go for his additional opener. Based on the hatchery location, you can use this to spread creep across the map that much faster and use this as a bit of a launch pad to potentially go for an all-in. Is Lambo one to go for an all-in when we're in the ace match? I don't think so. I don't know if he's that kind of player, but it's something to bear in mind, the creep at least provided by the space. That may factor in. Likewise, after that last game, I'm sure Goblin is going to be that much more attentive when it comes to scouting, when it comes to figuring out what the hell's going on. I'm sure he'll be a lot more on point in regards to that. So here we go. Behind the Stargate is on the way for Goblin. Again, standard opener. Goblin, he hasn't really adjusted when it comes to his opener or really shown anything else different here. It's like a Twilight Council opener or Robo opener or Archon draw play. Typically Stargate into his third base into Blink. We have seen him be greedy from there or be aggressive. We'll see what we go for this time. Does poke in. Oh, gets a drone. Very nice control there. That was very cute. Goblin, he hugged the drone to make sure that the spore couldn't morph. So very cheeky move there by Goblin. Once again, like his unit control has been very impressive this series. Very impressive. Once again, heading in. He wants those drones. Does force Lambo to react. Does shade away. Does shade away. So here we're selling in. Also, didn't even get to talk about it. Last game, how many workers did the first Oracle kill for Goblin on Incorporeal? It was like 12. It was maybe like around 9. It was crazy. Didn't matter in the end, but still, every game he's been popping up. Maybe like 8 or 9. So again, he has a lot to live up to. So he has been quite successful with that harass, whether it's Adept or Oracle or both. Behind this, going for the Forge, going for the Twilight Council. Standard follow-up here at Goblin, going to +1 and Blink. Oracles, they go for the dive. And no Spore here at the third base. They do get a couple of drones. 4 workers going down. A couple of Zerglings. Getting to the third. Oh my god. Getting a 5th drone. The Oracles, they take quite a bit of hull damage, but they do survive. They survive, they back off. They make it out. Decent damage so far. Decent. As this time Lambo going for a safety roach horn, just under the 5-minute mark. Now followed by the lair. As a reminder, last game Lambo went for a 4:30 lair timing. This is around 5 minutes, so a little more standard. A little more standard, so we're not rushing into mutas this time. Eva Chambers on the way. Link's poking in. Don't get much done. So far, Goblin is keeping up. Ooh, going for a bit of a gateway explosion. We have 4 more gates on the way. That's going to be a 6 gate setup. Getting up to 6 gateways. Getting up to 7. Okay, we're doubling down. We're committing. We are going to be committing here. Again, we saw this on ley lines. Getting up to 8 gates already. 8 gateways on the way. So he's going to commit quite hard. And we might move out with another probe for a 9th gateway. So this is looking like a 3-base 9-gate all-in. Assuming he does push with a probe. Ooh, Goblin supply blocked. Yeah, 4 pylons on the way. Supply block is brutal. Going down another. As he moves out, Lings, they threaten the counterattack. They threaten. Poking in. This Goblin, he is pushing. I mean, look at the rush distance by ground here. Like, from base to base, it's quite short. May as well just reinforce from back at home. True. Who needs a proxy? Meanwhile, Lambo is taking up, going into Hydras, going into an infestation pit. Lings, they do catch reinforcements. They force offensive warpins. And so far, Goblin is trading well. Nice stasis traps. Stasis traps, they do catch out some Lings. Oh, but he gets surrounded. Yeah, brutal surround here. Stalkers are going down. Nice setup here from Lambo. Does punish Goblin. And that's just so much damage already. That's how many? That's 4 Stalkers going down. Every Stalker counts. Losing a 5th. Does get a Queen. Does pick up a Queen. Still committing in. Lambo setting up for the surround. Once again, Lings, they do spread out. Catching reinforcements. Another stasis on the way. Goblin kiting back. Stasis lackluster. Connects with only 1 Zergling. And he's running out of steam. He's running out of steam. Going for the fleet beacon. Oof. This gets scattered as well. But Goblin, he has recognized he can no longer kill Lambo. This was meant to. That was meant to kill, but Lambo doing a great job at just counterattacking, catching reinforcements, forcing back the army. And he moves in once again. Oof. Better stasis. Much better. Okay. Goblin is keeping up. Does keep up. Shaves off all the Lings, now going for the Hydras themselves. Goblin, he can still pull this off. Hydras are going down. Again, the MVP stasis traps, where the Zerglings are not here. Wow, they're not here. And Goblin, he will break through. Lings, now they break out of stasis. And that's when Goblin has to back up. He has to respect the Zerglings. Again, you can see how the momentum changes once Zerglings get involved. And when they're not, Zealots are coming for the surround. Let's go. The slow lots around. Let's go. Another stasis. Oh, oh my god. Doesn't quite connect. But Goblin, I think he might have just done it. Losing too many Hydras. So many Hydras have gone down. As they are just so fragile. Bleeding out more Queens. The slow lots. Let's go. They're tanking well. Yeah, they do tank well. As we focus on another 2 more Hydras. Down to how many? Down to 7. 7 Hydras left. Oh, stasis baited out. Nicely done. Once again, once Lings arrive, we have to back up. Goblin's got to respect it. Respect the Zerglings. Let's get into the base, get into the expansion. Lambo once again trying to catch reinforcements coming in from behind. Stasis does go up. Better stasis. Uh-oh, running out of Lings. Running out of Zerglings. Goblin, he can keep going. He can't keep pushing. He's like, why did I get that fleet beacon? I don't need it. True. Queen goes down. Base goes down as well. Catching up the Zerglings. Does get us around. Just with the sheer Blink Stalker. I mean, what did he get for the Mothership? The Mothership has arrived. Let's go. With that, we have Cloak, we have the slow zone. Mothership actually impactful. Does come in, activates Cloak. Cloak does activate. Lings, they're trading well for themselves. Nice slow zone here on the Hydras. And he can make a stand. The Zerglings, they just evaporate. And Goblin, he's done it. He has done it. GG gets called. He overwhelms Lambo and Goblin. He will take the series 3-2, knocking Lambo out and advancing on into the next round. GG. Whew. GG, well played. With that, Goblin, again, the MVP stasis traps. You could see how momentum swung so heavily when we had some juicy stasis traps in the center of the map. We thought that the all-in had ended. We thought that Lambo had survived, had defended. I'm sure he thought so as well. But we saw that with those stasis traps, the Hydras were exposed. The Hydras that were going down one after the other. Key pickoffs there out of Goblin and just taking advantage of those stasis traps. GG, well played. Up until that time, up until that moment, Lambo, he was doing really well for himself when it comes to triggering and baiting out the stasis traps ahead of time. Was crazy. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations, Goblin. He does it. He does it. He will take the series, he will advance on, and do we have an opponent waiting for him? What's going on? Let's find out. We have not looked at the bracket in quite some time. Let's go. GG, well played. Shout out to Lambo, of course. Lambo, he fought well, he fought hard. He took down Skillus, of course, to make it this far. Took down some big names and let us catch up on the bracket. Ooh, a result I was not expecting. Okay. Exclamation mark B in the chat to have a look at the back yourselves. As we do have our updates, of course, we have Goblin. Goblin does advance on to face off against not Gabe. I'll be honest, I was expecting that to go, you know, a little bit more closer as a series. Not a 3-0. Not a 3-0. And if you recall, I was mentioning how Goblin, specifically, I would say his best matchup is PvT. Like, scrolling up here, you can see Goblin taking down Gabe, Goblin taking down Spirits as well. Like Goblin, he was popping off last night in the PvT. Does pop off. But instead it's going to be a PvP. Goblin versus Showtime in that Protoss versus Protoss matchup. Let's go. Let us go. And that's going to be our next series. That is going to be our next series. That's going to be our next matchup. A PvP here between Goblin and Showtime. Meanwhile, I believe the mainstream are still mid-series. I believe they're still covering Cyril and Raynor. Scrolling up a little bit here. Yeah, you can see him on the edge. God, the bracket is so big. There you go. You can see it on the edge there. Cyril versus Raynor. Cyril is up 2-0. He's currently up 2-0. I believe game 3 just ended and they're getting into game 4. But again, our attention does lie here on the lower bracket. We're following Goblin into his next round, into that next series. Let's go. Meanwhile, when it comes to, you can see here, when it comes to the tiebreaker match, this is not related necessarily to this qualifier. This is related to the global qualifier. There were people asking about this during the Korean qualifier, but Gabe technically still has a chance to make it to EWC. So does Lambo. Lambo, he is going to be Gabe's opponent here. I believe that is going to be covered by the mainstream, but it's going to be Lambo versus Gabe in a best-of-5 decider match to determine which of these two players gets invited to a last chance global qualifier. It's going to include other players that failed to qualify here, so it's going to include players like the loser of Goblin versus Showtime, the loser of of that series, and loser of the winner of that against like either Raynor or Cyril. And also up against the Koreans as well, and some of the others from the other regions. Basically, the players that placed highly in the other regions but didn't qualify all get invited to that last chance qualifier. I believe Estrella is going to be there as well. Estrella, and some of the others. And again, this is kind of like, this is the cutoff. This is a cutoff. So there's still a chance left here for EWC for either Lambo or Gabe. One of the two. So that's what this is. And again, I believe that's going to be covered by the mainstream. But we have the PvP. We have the Protoss versus Protoss. Whew. Oh boy.